this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. My rock's sweeter, beneath the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why, but I've been toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter. I've been toasting all my life.
Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, 1 or 2 still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Burrow, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Hello everyone and welcome to another night of live Penguin TV. I hope you're all ready and raring to go to watch the little penguin, these little ones who live with us here on Phillip Island, watching them making their way home across the beach and back to their burrows on land here on Phillip Island. Now, I haven't been doing the live stream in quite some time, and if you are a regular water watcher, you will know that I could talk for 3 hours about penguins, and because I've had about a week and a half off, it might just happen. So Heather over here is going to do her best to try and keep me in check as we watch these little guys come home. So you'll know Heather. Heather is a familiar face here on Penguin Live TV. Heather, introduce yourself and let us know what you will be doing tonight.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Heather, and I'm going to be monitoring the YouTube questions. So, give me some great questions to see if we can trick Jordan. Just a little bit of information. We have had a start at 8:50, so the penguins have started crossing the beach, and we'll update you with last night's numbers pretty soon. We'll get back to you on that.
Fantastic. So we have had a start to the count, and I just want to get through a couple of things before we zoom in on these little birds. The first is, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, please chuck your questions in the comments. Heather will be religiously checking the YouTube comments tonight, and she'll be throwing a few tricky ones over to me to try and answer. But if you are posting on Facebook tonight, remember we do have a wonderful team of penguin rangers who will be going through your comments within the next 24 hours or so and giving you some personalized answers. Now, you're also going to have to bear with me tonight because I've got a brand new little joystick that allows us to...
Thanks, Pip.
Oh, there's some penguins. That allows us to control the camera.
So, Jordan, is that the first group that's crossed?
I'm not sure. I just wanted to show you these penguins over here because, look, there's even another one a little bit further back. So you can see that there's penguins forming their raft. So a group of penguins out in the ocean is called a raft. And they live all along the beach here, and they have different pathways to follow to get home. So I just wanted to show you these guys over here, but I suspect, looks like we've got a few more. There are penguins everywhere. They are getting ready to make their dangerous dash home. But I suspect the first penguins to cross the beach will be at our beloved Penguins Plus, which is a little bit over this way. Hang on, sorry, still getting used to this joystick controller we've got. All right, there are some penguins hanging out in the water. They're a little bit too nervous to cross just yet. It's still a little bit light, and we've got a fairly low tide, and crossing the beach at the end of the day is one of the scariest times for our penguins because they aren't camouflaged against the beautiful blue ocean. I just wanted to see if we had any penguins actually crossing just yet. I don't want to miss them. Oh yes, it looks like we've had a small group potentially.
We have, yeah.
Did we get a number of how many there were, Heather?
We did.
Fabulous. How many were in this first little
Have a
group?
look where I wrote it down. I think there were 29.
29 penguins. Oh, and it looks like they are rounding the corner on the Penguin Highway just over here. So here we go. We get someone. It looks like it's dropped a little toy or a jumper or something on the Penguin Highway. Let's have a little bit of a look and see what that is. Oh dear, might have some penguin poo on it. Nah, let's follow the penguins. You're all here to watch penguins, not see what someone has dropped. No, this penguin is outrunning the camera, even though I've got a brand new little tool to... there we go. Hello, little dude. Brand new toy to play with to control the camera. It's still not quick enough to follow these guys as they waddle right underneath this Penguin Highway camera. So the reason we call this the Penguin Highway camera is because this is what we call the Penguin Highway. So just like you and I, when we're going home from school or from work, we want to take the quickest and easiest route home. And here, this is one of the most popular pathways for the penguins to take to get back home. So that's why we get to see them racing or waddling along this highway to get back home. So I might now just jump back to the main camera. What is going on? Technology is fun. There we go. Let's jump back to the beach and see if we can see any more penguins starting to waddle their way across the beach. Doesn't look like it yet. I can see a silver gull. Oh no, these guys are still staying nice and close together out in the water. So the penguins know that when they're in the ocean, they're a little bit more protected, or they're a bit safer out there compared to on land because they're very, very good swimmers. But as you can see, they might be able to outrun the camera here with the Penguin Live TV, but they're not often able to outrun lots of predators. So they've got beautiful navy blue feathers on their back, which help them camouflage against the surface of the water. So when they're out there, they can be floating on the surface, and any predatory birds flying above can't actually spot them. But when they cross the beach at the end of the day, they have to try and work out the best time to cross. They want to get home. If they're coming home, they've got things to do, they've got places to be, so they want to get home as soon as they can. But they want to make sure that when they cross the beach, they're obviously going to get home safe. And that's when the sun sets, it gets a little bit darker. Oh, something has scared them. See, their instinct is to run straight back into the water because they know they are much safer and they can evade predation a lot easier in the water. So good work, guys, heading to safety. But as it gets darker, they know that the threat of those predatory birds will reduce, because as it gets darker, those birds return to, looks like we've got a raft swimming in now, everyone. Can we see them kind of porpoising out in the water? So I hope, just wait for the camera to focus. Yep, there we go. And there's safety in numbers as they cross the beach. So the more penguins there are, the safer they're going to be and the more confident they're going to feel to cross. So welcome home, little dudes. Huck to you all. Now, for those of you who are regular water watchers, you know exactly what huck means. But a huck, or it sounds a bit like huck. That's the sound these penguins make when they're out in the ocean and they are trying to work out if it's safe to go home yet or not. They make that sound to try and call out to other penguins out in the water so that they can cross as one nice big waddle. So they're in the water, they're called a raft. And when they make their way across the beach, we call them a waddle of penguins. Something scared them, running back in. So when they're saying huck, the ones at the front are a little bit unsure, but they're scrambling over the rocks. They are heading back in. Good work, guys. They keep distracting me tonight. But yeah, they're trying to find as many penguins to cross the beach home with as possible. They're saying, is it dark enough? Is it safe? Are there any predators? Can we go home? Anyone else want to join us? What do we think? So having all these different kinds of conversations. And you've probably noticed our regular water watchers in the comments have already been saying huck to everyone out there. So if this is your first time watching and you're like, why is everyone saying huck? Now you know, you are in the know. And it looks like we've actually got another little raft of penguins. It's a slightly smaller one, just kind of to the left of that top highway screen. Looks like it's going to try and get to this larger waddle across here. Oh, yep, they're definitely going to make it. Sometimes they're a little bit late and they're struggling to keep up, but these guys are powering on through. All right, let us wish them all luck as they start crossing the beach. Oh, and you know what? It looks like we've got something a little bit interesting on the Penguin Highway just while we're looking at that. Hi, little one. What are you doing? I have my suspicions about you. I want to see whether... I didn't actually see where it snuck up from. Oh, no. Thought you might be something called a shell gritter. Did anyone notice in the comments if it came from the colony or if it came from the ocean? What are you doing?
No, but we'll wait for some feedback.
We'll wait for some feedback. Excellent. So this penguin over here is potentially something we call a shell gritter. So a female penguin with eggs developing inside her, and she would have been on land all day. And now that it's getting dark and it's safe to do so, she can exit her burrow where she's been hiding all day, make her way down the Penguin Highway, waddling away as she goes, and eating some little bit of seashell, so some shell grit to help make her eggs, the calcium in the shells help make her eggs nice and strong. But it looks like it's just looking in the mirror at its reflection at the moment. Do I look beautiful? What do we think? Oh, now, sorry, there's probably something that you are all desperate to know. Let us now jump back to our main camera, and that is how many penguins crossed the beach last night. So Heather has the magic number, and you know what, before you spoil it for everyone, I'm sure you've probably been putting your some of your guesses in the comments, but I want to let you know that we had a significantly larger amount of penguins cross last night than what we have in the last, couple of days, Heather?
We did, yes.
So tell us, not last night, but the night before, how many penguins were there?
Okay. So Monday night?
Not Monday night, Sunday. It was
Sunday, yes. Sunday there were 1,029 penguins.
1,029 penguins. So that was Sunday night. How many were there last night, Heather?
You ready, everyone? A significant number more. 1,811.
1,811 penguins, if you missed that, everyone. That is a buttload of penguins. So I hope you were watching last night and you had a very, very lovely time watching me, both Megan and Heather, hosting the live stream and watching over 1,800 penguins crossing the beach. So that is a huge amount. I would love to hear your predictions as to how many penguins you think are going to be coming up tonight as well. So good work. I think it was Ranger John counting the penguins tonight. And this evening we have the lovely Pip.
We do.
Pip
Yes.
and Sonia. There we go. There's got a nice big group of penguins starting to cross over the resting rocks now. One thing I did want to say before we jump into too much penguin information, and it's always really hard, well, not always, sometimes it can be difficult to make sure we say some of these things at the start of our streams, just because the penguins like to surprise us and come home a little bit earlier. But what I just wanted to do was stop and acknowledge the land that we are joining you from today. So we are, of course, here on Phillip Island. We are here on Boonwurrung country, and the Boonwurrung people are the traditional custodians of the land here on Phillip Island that they call Malau. And they've been coming over to Malau for many, many thousands of years and would have been the first people to watch these beautiful little birds, these little penguins making their way home, doing their dangerous dash across the beach. And we've been very, very lucky here at Phillip Island Nature Parks to work quite closely with the Boonwurrung Land Council and learn all there is, or not all there is, we're slowly learning about Indigenous land practices and sustainability that has been practiced for many, many thousands of years. So I want to acknowledge the Boonwurrung as the traditional custodians and pay my respect to their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge any First Nations people we might have here joining us on Live Penguin TV today as well. Let us know in the comments what land you are joining us from, the traditional lands, whether that's in Australia or abroad. We would love to have some recognition of the traditional custodians of the land wherever you might be joining us from, to help raise awareness and educate those around us. So thank you so much in advance to everyone who does their own acknowledgements of countries in the comments. Tim Tay, I'm looking at you. We really, really love it and appreciate all of the enthusiasm and the respect shown for First Nations people all over the world. So again, thank you very, very much, everyone. Now over here, we've got you would have seen that there's been a few penguins crossing or making their way up the Penguin Highway, but these penguins over here on the resting rocks have decided that they are happy to have a bit of a rest, catch their breath. They might not be in too much of a hurry. I wonder if the ones that have already made their way across the beach and up into the colony might have eggs at home and partners to relieve, because they both mum and dad take it in turns sitting on eggs. They believe in equality. Go penguins. Let's have a look out at the beach to see. Oh, that's a nice big waddle of penguins, or a raft of penguins that is turning into a waddle. Whoa, welcome home, guys. Send your love to Pip, who will be counting each and every single one of these penguins as they cross the beach. That is a very, very large group, and I would say easily over 100 penguins. But Pip is a master penguin counter, so if she's not too busy counting penguins all the way along the beach, hopefully she'll be able to send us through a number as to how many penguins are in this group. One thing I keep getting distracted by penguins. Who knew? One thing that we always like to remind people of on Live Penguin TV is that here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, we are the organisation that manages the Penguin Parade, as well as the Koala Conservation Reserve, Churchill Island Heritage Farm, the Nobby's Antarctic Journey, as well as a range of bushland and ocean reserves. And we are a non-for-profit conservation organisation, which means we get most of our money to fund our conservation projects, education and research through tourism. So you would have noticed that there are people sitting in the stands. They bought tickets to see these beautiful little guys make their way home, and the profits from those tickets go directly into helping to protect these penguins. And back in the good old days, we could have thousands of people coming in and watching the penguins as they waddled their way home, but as we were shut down for a few months, and then we had a capacity only of 50 people, and it has now luckily grown to 500 people, which is absolutely exciting. But we aren't able to have the same amount of people that we once were. So if you would like, and you can't kind of visit us in person, but would love to help us continue to protect little penguins and threatened species in some of our natural areas around Malau, around Phillip Island, you can donate to the Penguin Foundation, and you can adopt a penguin. You can adopt a koala, a hooded plover, a short-tailed shearwater, and those donations go directly into our funding our wildlife clinic here on Phillip Island. So you might have been watching the other week where Megan was lucky enough to spot a penguin with an entanglement around its neck. She was able to let me know, and I got out there and I wrangled the penguin and gave me a few nasty little bites and scratches. It was a very, very tough penguin, but I was able to remove some marine debris from around its neck that was really, really tight around its neck, with the help of our wonderful Andrew, who is a site supervisor here at the Penguin Parade, making sure everyone is all nice and safe. So we were able to release him on live Penguin TV, and so yeah, very, very exciting that we were able to save this penguin. But if he was sick or injured and we did have to admit him to the hospital, that the people who have donated to the Penguin Foundation, adopted a penguin or become a penguin pal and got one of these cute little plushies, you have directly gone into helping us protect these penguins by helping us with our wildlife rehabilitation and rescue. So a huge thank you to every single one of you who has donated through Live Penguin TV in the past or has come here to join us at any one of our 4 attractions. But if you have fallen in love with these guys and would love to help us and would like to make sure these little penguins have a very safe home and a lot of care to come back home to, please consider donating to the Penguin Foundation, the penguins, and we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very, very much, everyone. Now, I haven't seen any penguins coming up the Penguin Highway in a while, but I could have just been very, very busy chatting away. Again, haha, Jordan talking, who would have known? Oh no, I thought there might have been some penguin poo there, but that's okay. Just wanted to have a little bit of a look over here because in previous nights, this has been a little bit of a rest spot, but it doesn't quite look like it just yet. Let's see maybe if we can follow some of these penguins up the hill and maybe see if we can catch a glimpse of any little chicks out in the area. So I was watching the other night, I think it might have been Sky or Stephen who was doing the live stream, and they managed to see a fairly young chick. Is that you right there? Let's have a look. Let's zoom in on this little dude. Yeah, that is a little chick here, everyone. You can see it's got its beautiful little fluffy brown chicky feathers. A little down, I'll zoom out a little bit. Oh, is that your sibling behind you? So these guys, they're what we call a P3 penguin. It's a way that we describe how much of their adult feathers they have showing. So you can see it looks like it's kind of wearing a bit of a scarf or a bit of a beanie, maybe like it's got a mullet or something. So that penguin that little chick should be getting ready to fledge. So to head out into the ocean, and fend for itself within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So it's a very fat, chunky looking chick, which is a great, great sign. It means that it's going to head out into the water with lots of fat stores, lots of energy, and hopefully become a very, very successful swimmer and forager, because when chicks do head out into the ocean, once they fledge, Mum and Dad don't show them what to do, where to go, how to fish. They have to learn it all for themselves. So send your love and all your luck to all the little chicks who are you a chick as well? It could be its sibling that's a little bit older. Can you see? I can't see any fluff on it, but I've only got a fairly small screen. Oh yeah, I think you're a chick as well. So it looks like we've got 2 siblings over here. Woohoo! More chicks! And you've probably heard as well that a lot of penguins here are actually on their 2nd clutch. So a lot of parents, they started breeding early, they've raised their chicks, kicked them out of the burrow, and now they are on to round 2 because the conditions are favourable. So I wonder if these are at the 2nd lot of eggs just here as well. Now, Heather, I am well aware that I have been talking for about 20 minutes and I haven't I haven't asked for a question just yet. So, Heather, let us have a question from the audience and see if if I can be stumped. I love that.
Okay, Jordan. First, I would just want to acknowledge what today is to me personally, because I'm a bit of a music tragic and I love the Beatles. So today is the anniversary of John Lennon's death, and believe it or not, folks, he died 40 years ago.
Wow.
So that's a little bit of trivia for you.
There we go.
But I have a great question. Oh, I've got a couple of good questions.
That's what we want.
First, I want to... Kathy E. guessed 10 off the Penguins last night. She guessed 1,821.
That's Kathy?
Kathy, yeah.
Kathy,
she would get a chocolate.
You would win our Penguin Lotto if you worked here at the Penguin Parade. So amazing work guessing we very, very rarely get so close.
It's pretty good.
Good. I think we might need to get you here counting penguins with us. So good work, Kathy. I love it. Love it.
Now, Jen, she has also asked Stephen this question, but he didn't get back to her.
Okay.
Have we ever had an albino penguin here?
Oh, I can answer that question. Have we ever had an albino penguin? Great question. Who was this from?
Jen.
Sorry? Jen. All right. So, Jen, you would have heard me. Is that focused? Hold on a second. Let's focus in on them as they start crossing the beach. Come on, camera. It's getting a bit darker and harder to focus. There we go. So, Jen, you would have heard me a little bit earlier, talking about how important it is for penguins when they're out in the water, the importance of their navy blue feathers on their back, which helps them camouflage against the surface of the water from any predatory birds that are kind of flying around. So, we have actually had albino penguins in the past, which is really, really cool. But unfortunately, because of the requirement, because penguins are so small, they're not very good at defending themselves. So having that blue camouflage on their back is really, really vital for their survival out in the water. And but occasionally we do have albino chicks. It is very, very rare, but sometimes it does happen. Unfortunately, quite often the chicks won't survive. Unfortunately, that's just natural selection. They're not going to be able to protect themselves out in the ocean. And I also even wonder if they did survive to adulthood, if the other penguins would kind of think that they looked weird. I'm actually not sure about that answer. But I was having a chat to Paula, who is one of our research technical officers, and she said that she, in one of the study sites that gets checked once every 2 weeks, there was an albino chick, and it actually did fledge successfally. So it did grow to about 7 to 8 weeks old. It lost all its fluffy kind of downy feathers, and it grew back its and it had the adult feathers. Even though it was white on the top, the parents still fed it, so again, that's a great sign, and it headed out into the ocean. So it definitely does happen. Unfortunately though, we didn't see that penguin come back, so it is possible that it decided to relocate to a different area, or it could have been eaten and spotted out in the water because it didn't have that camouflage. So really, really good question, Jen. Was it? Yes, Jen. Yeah. Thank you for that. And it's only something that I learnt quite recently, because I thought that an albino penguin probably it might have been even abandoned by its parents, but no, in this case, they actually raised it until it was ready to fledge. So thank you for that, Heather.
Would you like another question?
Look, let's go for another question. Okay. Why not?
So, I didn't write down who asked the question, but they will know because they're on YouTube. Will the bandicoot be in the same area tonight, or are there more than one bandicoots released in this area?
So if you have been watching Live Penguin TV, you probably would have seen a very, very special creature here on your screen, and that would be the eastern barred bandicoot, which is classified as extinct in mainland Australia. But we are lucky enough to have a very, very healthy population living among the penguins, and I believe the last count here living among the penguins, there was over 150 bandicoots. I'll have to double check those numbers, and I'll get back to you tomorrow with the exact kind of estimation of the population size. So they have definitely grown from when they were first released, and they do kind of live in a similar kind of area. So it very well could have been the same bandicoot, or it could have been another one. So I think it was around this area last time. If you see anything that looks kind of like a a small rabbit that's kind of crossed between a mouse. It's got a pointy nose, a long skinny tail. It's got some stripes on its bottom. That would be our eastern barred bandicoot, which is a type of marsupial, meaning it has a pouch just like a koala or a kangaroo, where it raises its young. But I can't see it just now. If you do see it on the live stream, please do let us know, because we get very, very excited about bandicoots here at the Penguin Parade. We, of course, love penguins, but bandicoots, because they are so rare and because we have helped them be able to bring them back from the brink of extinction, we lose it every single time that we see them. So please let us know if you have seen a bandicoot in the wild or if you see them on your screens tonight, because I will be probably very, very busy talking about penguins. So I hope that answers your question. Well, looks like we have some penguins coming up the highway. Let us have a look and watch them go. Now, Heather has just told me that we have about 5 more minutes to go here on Live Penguin TV. And you'll know that in Jordan, in my mind, 5 minutes usually is about 10 or 15 minutes. So, Heather, I hope you don't have anywhere to be tonight, because it's probably going to take me that long to wrap up, because I feel like I still have so much more to say after, oh, hey, little dudes, after having a week off from Live Penguin TV. So, yeah, sorry, I've only answered a few questions and I feel like I haven't said enough just yet. So you're going to have to bear with me. I hope your water watchers don't mind. Sorry.
Jordan,
Heather wants to tell me, look at that poo.
Yeah, Jordan, do you want to tell them about the Facebook requests, or shall I tell them?
Sorry, I'm just zooming into the poo.
Right, oh, of course.
Come on, that looks like a nice little sample there. I would love, there it is. Look at that fresh scat. Looks like it'd be a very, very good sample. We'd be able to collect that in a special little vial and send it to the lab and be able to analyze, hey everyone, analyze what the penguins have been eating. So Heather has just reminded me that there has been a post recently put out by our media team letting everyone know that unfortunately Live Penguin TV as we know it will be ending next Tuesday. So there was a request put out for things that you Waddle Watchers would love to see on the live stream. So before we finish up. Now, I will say, I know it's very, very sad and I'm probably going to get very emotional on Sunday night, which is my last night doing the live stream. But yeah, we want to try and get as many of your funny little quirky suggestions in as possible. But remember that while it is going to be ending every night on next Tuesday, so we've got 1 more week of Live Penguin TV, we will be coming back with special guests and for special occasions as well. So make sure you tune in for that. So Heather, let us hear some of the suggestions that our Water Watchers have asked for.
They're pretty hilarious, Jordan, especially when it comes to you. So
why am I not surprised? Let's make a fool of myself constantly on this thing.
Yeah, so
See, she just agreed with me.
Of course. Val C says Jordan won't be able to tell her poo stories if she hucks for 30 minutes, because one of the requests is that Jordan hucks for 30 minutes.
So I'll do it just to satisfy. I think one of the things that the marketing team said was, do you want Jordan to huck for 30 minutes non-stop? Which of course we all know that I probably could do it. But what was it that I wouldn't be able to tell my poo stories?
If you hucked for 30 minutes.
So huck. Come on, Heather. Huck.
We're not going to huck for 30 minutes, Jordan. We are not going to do it.
How about 10 seconds? How about 5 seconds?
Okay, that's
all right.
good.
But Heather has to do it with me. So ready, everyone? Huck. Okay, let's have another suggestion.
Sandra wants you to waddle on the chair.
So, for a little bit of context, is there any more penguins crossing the beach? Only some small groups. Let's go back to the light where it's a little bit easier to see them. So a couple of weeks ago, you might have seen me trying to describe how penguins waddle. And I was trying really hard to use my words and try to be as descriptive as possible, but I just thought it would be a lot better to show you. So again, for a little bit of context, penguins are not able to bend their knees like you or I. They have their knees kind of fused bent. They're not fused straight, they're fused bent. So it's kind of like you have to get down on a squat and try and move side to side. So let me get up on the chair and show you. So it was Sandra who wanted me to do this, is that right?
Yeah.
So I kind of have to go, oh, we fell off the chair. And try to see if you can waddle around your living room going just like this. Trust me, I'm a little bit out of breath. So you guys can give it a go if you so wish. Any more suggestions, Heather?
Yes.
Very good.
Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Jean D.
I recognise that name. I think she's still out of breath.
She's a top fan.
She's a top fan. She's a regular water watcher.
She wants you to be Jordan and ignore the 5-minute warning.
Oh, wow. So, Heather, do you recall how long ago you told me it was 5 minutes?
Oh, probably 10 minutes, yeah.
There you go, Jean. I have already taken on board your request, so I hope you're happy. Any more?
Yeah. JD.
So, Jean D and JD.
Correct.
Very good.
I'm not making up the names, Jordan.
So I know you guys. These are very, very familiar names to me.
So Jordan to do a 24-hour live stream.
You know what? I almost reckon I could do it, but 24 hours is a long time. Maybe if I got to talk about koalas and bandicoots as well, I could do it. Would I be able to maybe get some drink breaks, or can I stop for lunch or dinner? Of course. I think that otherwise I would just be a bubbling mess. So very good. Thank you for your suggestions. Any more before we go?
Yeah. Adam would really love that we do a podcast dedicated to the penguins.
Adam, that's actually
great suggestion.
Great suggestion by Adam. Oh, look at all these lovely people watching these penguins as they have a little bit of a rest before they start making their journey home. So, Adam, Phillip Island Nature Parks actually did start premiere a podcast. Oh, it was a couple of months ago. So if you follow, I think it's on Spotify, Phillip Island Nature Parks. Actually, I'm going to come back tomorrow and double check the name. But if you search for Phillip Island Nature Parks on wherever you get your podcast from, whether that's Spotify, Apple, whatever, I'm not sure. I'm not an Apple person. You can actually find some podcasts about penguins, and they interview some of our researchers. So penguin biologists, you might remember Professor Penguin, Dr. Andre Sharadia. I think they also interviewed someone called Peter Dan, who is our director of research, and he was instrumental in organising trying to start the housing buyback scheme, which got rid of 183 houses in the Summerland Peninsula where these little guys live, and to help regenerate that back into penguin habitat, as well as a lot of other interviews with researchers and people who work at the nature parks as well. So in the meantime, while we start making that podcast that you suggested, Adam, make sure you check out Phillip Island Nature Park's very own podcast as well. So thank you very much, Lee. Now, it's probably getting time for us to wrap up very, very shortly. But actually, let's find some nice penguins to... I kind of like them on the resting rock. Sorry, everyone. I hope you're not seasick. I'm going to go back to these guys. This is actually Heather's last night on the live stream, everyone. So please send her lots of love in the comments and tell her what an amazing job that she has done answering all your questions and passing them over to the hosts. But before we wrap up, I would just like to get Heather in front of the screen tonight and tell you a little bit of a story that she told Megan after the live stream last night, and that she told me before the live stream tonight. And instead of me repeating what she said, I would like her to share her story with you. So I'm going to get out of the chair and give a chance for Heather. So come on in, Heather.
Hi everyone. This is a story of when I first started at the parade here. I was walking into, and it was in the old building, and I was walking in, and two young boys, or reasonably young boys, bought a penguin chick in their jumper, and this penguin chick was still quite fluffy. It still had its down feathers. And they told me the story about they were driving their car around Scotsman's Hill. And when you come here, you'll see where it's Scotsman's is the top of the where the camera is now. And when you see the penguins walking up that path, that's where they're going. They're going up to Scotsman's Hill. And they were driving their car around there, and a wedge-tailed eagle had dropped that chick in front of their car. And of course, they put their brakes on and woo, just like that. And they picked the chick up and brought it to us, and we sent it to the rehab hospital. And I think it was Jody still there Jody was there, and they fed that little chick, and it was released back out into the wild. So I wanted to share that story because lots of people have asked about, have you ever seen a predator take a penguin chick? Well, I didn't see it personally, but I did receive the chick. So that's my little farewell story, and thank you all for watching, and have a great evening. Come on, Jordan.
Okay, I'll come on back.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
beautiful.
we'll swap
Thank you,
over.
Heather. Absolutely. What a great story, everyone. I'm sure you were absolutely wowed at that because, my gosh, that must have been such a tough little chick to survive being taken by a wedge-tailed eagle, be dropped, and then have to be handled by humans. And then it was strong enough and it was so well cared for that we could eventually feed it up, strengthen it back up, and release it back into the wild. So that's a real beautiful kind of success story. And that's, again, some of the work that we do here at the nature parks to help protect penguins. So you might remember me a little bit earlier in the stream tonight talk about our wildlife rehabilitation clinic, which specializes in seabirds, so things like penguins. And that is funded by the Penguin Foundation. So if you have donated to the Penguin Foundation in the past, things like that is what your money has gone towards, helping rehabilitate little chicks that might have been taken by a wedge-tailed eagle or anything like that. So please, again, consider donating to the Penguin Foundation. The link is just in the description of the video, and you'll know that your money is going towards a very, very good place. And because we are coming up to Christmas, it might be a nice little gift to adopt a penguin for yourself or for any of your family or friends. So please consider that, and just what a beautiful, lovely success story for that as well. Again, well aware that we are well into overtime. Heather, do we have any more questions? Any one last question to end up with before we head off for the night? If you don't have one, I've got something that I want to share as well.
I think that you should share something, Jordan.
Well, okay, so before Heather and I started the live stream tonight, her and I were kind of going through the comments of that post that I talked about a little bit earlier, asking water watchers to give their suggestions as to what they would like to see in the live streams. And I think one of them was they wanted to see a photo of me covered in penguin poo. And in fact, I think I might have written the name down. Heather, do you recall who it was?
Yeah, I think it was actually JD.
JD.
Yeah.
So JD, I can do you one better, and I can show you Jordan, myself, covered in penguin poo right now. So can we see this little white bit? I've done my best to try and wash it out, but I'm going to be doing some more field work tomorrow, and I thought there was no sense in washing these pants just yet, because tomorrow there's a high likelihood that I'm going to be getting recovered in penguin poo tomorrow. So I don't actually think I have any photos of myself covered in penguin poo, but I've got a story, and I think Megan actually told you a few great stories last night, but I bet she didn't tell you this one. Now let's go to the Penguin Highway for a little bit of something different. We were checking our study site. I think it was on Monday. Yes, it must have been yesterday. And no, sorry, that's a lie. I lied. It was on Friday. Hey, little dudes. And we went to this first burrow, and it was, oh, have we got a shell gritty here? Are you a little mama? I think you are. Got eggs in your tummy. You're heading down to the ocean.
Oh, it might peck the poo.
Might peck the poo. I don't recommend it. They like the fresh stuff. Oh, you're stopping right by the poo, though. I'm going to have to stop a bit of a pre. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think you look gorgeous. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. The story that I bet Megan didn't tell you last night was that, the first burrow that we checked, we usually take it in turns in handling them, so it's kind of fair between us. So we had to weigh the chicks to see how beautiful and fat they were, and the very first chick that she got, it was like 9 a.m. in the morning. It unloaded all over her. It was so funny. It went on her vest, it went on her pants, it was all over her arm. It was just hilarious. I couldn't take any data because I was too busy laughing at her, and she was just like, help me. So I took a few photos of her. I hope our media team, our marketing team, will allow us to look at this little waddler. You are so waddly. I hope they will allow us to release those images because it's just so bloody funny. Hey, little dudes. Making your way home. So yeah, I only got a little bit of a splash. I think this was on Monday, but she fully needed like a hose down last Friday because she was just completely covered in chick poo. And I think she got pooed on 3 times that day. I only got pooed on once. But just goes to show. She always would tease me for getting pooed on and talking about poo, but this time the penguins got her back. Alrighty, I think that is all I'm going to say for tonight before the lights turn off and the penguin parade ends.
You are so onto it, Jordan, because there's like 5 minutes in the count left.
So it was really funny. At the start of Live Penguin TV, we were told you're not meant to go any more than 20 minutes and you've got to do it at a certain time and we can't go any longer, blah, blah, blah. And as time goes on, they've just become more and more relaxed with us. So I hope you've enjoyed. But yes, we will finish up here, but I will be back tomorrow, I think, either with Michael or with Anna, because remember, this is Heather's last night with us. So Heather, come on in and we'll do a quick wrap up before we finish. So again, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in for another night of Live Penguin TV. I hope you've enjoyed tonight and you've enjoyed watching Heather on here with us as well. So again, please send her all the love in the comments because she's done an absolutely fantastic job and she's been a pleasure to work with. And you know what? Before Live Penguin TV, I don't think I really worked that closely with you, Heather. So it's been a real pleasure to work with you. So thank you so much for making making my job so much easier. She's been an absolute star. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciated it. But yeah, thank you again so much for joining us and watching Live Penguin TV, and for you regular Waddle watchers tuning in night after night. I hope you've had a wonderful evening. Remember, for all of you out there, if you've got a little bit of spare change, we would love it if you donated to the Penguin Foundation to help keep these little penguins and other threatened species here on Malau on Phillip Island safe. But yeah, tune in, same time, same place tomorrow night, and we will see you there. But before we sign off, anything else you'd like to say, Heather?
Jordan was going to make me cry. We've had great fun together, and we just, I hope that you've really enjoyed it too, and that we're now into 37 days of no cases of COVID. So
come and visit us. Come and see us.
And have a very happy, safe Christmas, everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Heather. Now, again, before we go, there is something that we always have to do at the end of every single Live Penguin TV, and that is our signature huck off. So we will both be doing some hucking, and I might even throw in another different call for you as well. So in the language of the penguins, good night and huck, 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 huck.